This video is in continuation with my first video on word usage, and here I would be discussing some more word usage problems. And let's move on with another question on the inappropriate usage of word. Here you can see that the words are slightly difficult in comparison with the ones we dealt with earlier. The first word is exalt, and the word exalt means to glorify or to praise or to extol. Let's see what the sentences have to say. The first sentence is, in church we exalt our God in prayer. And this is absolutely correct because when you go to a religious place, you are more likely to glorify your God, or whoever or whichever they might be. The second sentence is, the cruel prison guard did everything he could to exalt inmates and make them feel worthless. Now, this sentence is wrong on many different levels. First, the guard is cruel and he is exalting inmates. Inmates, that is the prisoners. So how do you expect a cruel prison guard to exalt inmates? So there's a contradiction here itself. And even if it does by any chance, then how is exalting them going to make them feel worthless? It should make them feel worthwhile. And that's why this sentence is wrong on three different levels. C says, for a fee, most celebrities will exalt a product by pretending to like it. It is absolutely correct because we all come across advertisements by celebrities, advertisements of things you can't perceive a celebrity using. You know, you can't think of a high profile celebrity using a pan masala or using a, a bike, a small bike, but they go on to endorse it, and they endorse it like they mean it. So the sentence is correct. D says, the purpose of the brochure is to exalt the beauty of the small island nation. I recently came across a brochure of the island nation called Sri Lanka, and it was full of big words that were used to exalt the beauty of this nation, to glorify and to talk about the benefits of going over there. Words like serendipity were used to make you feel as if this is the right place to go in these holidays. So, looking at all the options, we can safely say that the wrong usage is in option B. The second word is discern. Discern means to understand using your senses. Now, option A says, a young child will likely get in big trouble if he has the audacity to discern the things his parents tell him to do. Now, audacity is equal to daring. Now, how will a child get into trouble if he dares to understand the things his parents tell him to do? I mean, the whole idea is illogical. Uh, so the usage is illogical over here. A detective's job is to discern who is guilty of a particular crime by evaluating the evidence. Absolutely right, because a detective has many pieces of evidence in front of him, and looking at those pieces of evidence, he has to find out the guilty party. C says, in order to find a cure for the disease, the medical researchers must first discern the actual cause of the condition. This is how research works. That when you look at the symptom, or when you look at at some disease, you don't go and research the symptom. You go for the causes behind the symptom, and that's why this sentence is also right. And discern over here means to try to understand the cause. We used a staffing agency to help us discern which nanny would work best with our family. I see nothing wrong in this because when you are hiring a person, you need to be sure and you need to understand which person would work the best for you. So, absolutely right. So, the right answer is A. The third word over here is baleful, and it means sinister or evil or deadly. Uh, let's see what the sentences have to say. With baleful eyes, the vulture stared at the injured rabbit. Once again, if a vulture is looking at an injured rabbit, it is not going to be looking at it with sympathy or compassion. Of course, it would be looking at it with the intention of eating it, and that's why the usage of the word baleful is okay. Instead of being so selfish, why don't you be a baleful giver? Now, the sentence is trying to say that don't be selfish and be generous, but the word baleful is not a synonym of the word generous, so it is an improper usage. C says, when we approached the frightened dog, it gave us a baleful growl. Generally when animals are afraid, they don't let us come near them, and to tell that they are not welcoming us, or that we are not welcome near them, they growl, and they growl in such a way that makes us afraid of them. And once again, this is a correct usage. D says, Pam got baleful looks in the theater. And imagine you are in a theater and somebody behind you is talking non-stop, and they are maybe telling the story, or maybe they are talking about their personal issues. How would you feel? I mean, definitely angry. And the same thing happens with this person Pam over here, and she has been talking and she wouldn't stop, and obviously her neighbors would give her an eyeful. So, right usage. Fourth word, tantamount, means equal to. If something is tantamount to something, it means that it is equal to that thing. Right now, we are experiencing a lockdown, and the lockdown due to coronavirus, and we are expected to stay at home. And if we don't follow this order and we go out, it is tantamount to disobeying of the order, and it is tantamount to crime. Let's see what the sentences have to say. First sentence, to leave a dog in a hot car is tantamount to torture. Absolutely right. How would you and why would you leave a dog shut in a hot car? I mean, uh, you would not want to be there, and it's equivalent to torture. Some parents say that spanking is tantamount to child abuse. Once again, absolutely right. If you beat a child in whatever way you do, it is abuse, while others believe it is effective discipline. I believe that the first part is right. Since Frank enjoys a number of hobbies, he tells people he has tantamount interests. Now this is not taking us anywhere, because two things are there. Uh, he has tantamount, as I told earlier also, the word tantamount, it means equal to, and the word doesn't fit over here. Uh, and second thing is that after tantamount, you always use the preposition to. So C is wrong. Taking money from your mother's purse without asking her first is tantamount to stealing. We see it all the time. Children, although unintentionally, their intention is not to commit a crime or whatever. They feel that their mother's money is their own money, and that's why they sometimes take it without permission. But in technical terms, I mean, if your intentions are pure, even then it is equal to stealing. So I agree with the fourth sentence as well. So it leaves us only with the third sentence that is wrong, and that says, since Frank enjoys a number of hobbies, he tells people he has tantamount interests. It makes no sense at all. The next word is arcane, and it means mysterious or requiring secret knowledge. The first sentence says the elderly teacher had an arcane way of teaching mathematics. Now, somebody who teaches cannot have an arcane way, because whatever he teaches or whatever way he uses to teach will become public knowledge. So it will not remain secretive anyway. So this sentence doesn't logically look right. Second sentence says, since Mary loved to bake, an arcane smell wafting through the house was of freshly baked bread or cakes in the oven. Uh, the word wafting means hanging about, or you know moving around on the air through the house. So if a smell wafts through a place, it means that it is pervading throughout that place. Uh, so an arcane smell here means a mysterious smell, So what the writer is trying to do is that they are trying to balance two arguments. So on the one hand, they are saying that there was a mysterious smell hanging about the house, but on the other hand, they are suggesting that it must be of cake because Mary loved to bake, and that's why the sentence is quite justified. People always inquired why the identity of my grandfather was kept arcane. If you keep something arcane, you keep it mysterious and you don't reveal it, and suits the sentence. An arcane band was playing in an underground location. Now, one of the meanings of the word arcane is esoteric, and esoteric means confined to and understandable by only an enlightened inner circle. That is, only a few people understand what that particular thing is all about. Such a thing is an esoteric thing. And if an arcane band is playing in an underground location, most probably it is being done because they don't want to share their music with the rest of the world, and they believe that whatever they are playing can be understood by only a certain group of people, and that's why this sentence makes perfect sense. So the only sentence which has an illogical way of using the word arcane is the first sentence. This brings us to the end of the second part of my video on word usage problems. In my next video, I will be talking about some more problems of word usage. Till then, keep practicing.